Everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Paul Nguma, founder of PATTERNOLOGY LAB. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with y'all a stock that is about to go parabolic within the next few days and why you should keep it on your watch list. And I'm also going to be answering some of you guys' questions as well and showing y'all a trade recap on some of the trades that I took since like Monday, all right after the intro. Alright, y'all. Again, before we begin, do not forget to annihilate the like button on your way in, alright? So let's get started. The market was very eventful today. There was a massive dump right in the as soon as the gates opened, it just started dumping and falling. I'm sure this one caught a lot of people off guard. It was kind of a surprise for me too. I thought it would go up a bit further before experiencing some turbulence, but the turbulence just happened right out the gates. So there was opportunity for some short sellers and for the longs as well. So congrats to anybody who was able to short this thing or anybody who were able to cash this thing on a dip. All right. Overall, it doesn't look bad. Like the trend is still good to the upside. I think it can creep up a little bit higher. I think it can do it, but I'm gonna have to cover this one in the next video. So the stock that is about to go parabolic within the next few days, that stock is Visa. All right. And Visa, for those of y'all who have been subscribing to the channel, I started covering Visa way over here after it gave us our doji. We made some money over here towards the 220 region, and then I told you that at this point I have no clue where this thing is gonna go. All right, I was kind of clueless at this point. This is where I had to get rid of it because I didn't know anything. I didn't know whether it was gonna crumble or whether it was going to go parabolic. I just knew that it was going to recover to this level. And as you can see, this thing just kept going up and up and up, and it survived earnings. All right. Now the reason why I wanted to share this one with y'all is because it's literally about to get to that point where we'll see a massive push. The survival of earnings was a good thing. That's number one. Number two, it actually broke out of this. Let me just use the right drawing tool and get rid of that. So it broke out of this ascending triangle right here. Very, very bullish pattern. And I honestly think that this momentum that we're seeing in the payment processing sector and also the bank sector, the banks have been doing quite well. Like banks have been crushing it throughout the past like few days. So I think this one is gonna continue higher. So where should y'all see this thing going? Again, you can play this either to the long side, or you can just wait for this thing to really get parabolic before you start shorting. All right, but I see this thing maybe at 245. 250 is pushing it. A lot of analysts have been upgrading the stock, as you can see on the left. Like Goldman Sachs have been upgrading the stocks, JP Morgan. They all been given ridiculous price targets of like 200, 275, or 280. So again, these analysts, their opinions are just opinions, just like I'm providing my very honest opinions. All right. So think it with a grain of salt. Do your research. Approach this thing as you want to approach it, and most importantly, manage your risks. So that is the stock for this video that is about to go parabolic. All right. Now let's talk about the trade recap. So the first one that we're gonna talk about is Oxy. All right. And for all of y'all who have been subscribing to the channel, I shared Oxy with y'all when we were way down here below $25. And then on this day, I told y'all to watch this thing for a push upwards. All right. So what I did was right after I told y'all that, I actually bought 20 calls like right out the gates, 20 of these calls for $1,446. All right. And then I bought again 1 minute later, another $1,600 worth of contracts, and then I bought 10 more calls at 9:19. Again, these, let me just change that to the 5-minute time frame right over here. So first order right there, second order right here. All right, and then let's go back to Robinhood. And then I bought 5 more contracts at 2:39. So 5 more contract was right over here. Right in this region, I added more. So I had a total of 55 contracts, which cost about $4,291. and then I ended up selling all of them. Let's go back over here to the Robinhood account. I sold all 55 of them for $6,710 right at 9 o'clock. And 9 o'clock was right over here, right at the top of that move right here before this nasty drop. Again, the market was looking like it wanted to tank. And I didn't want to be stuck holding calls here when I know that if you know that it's gonna drop, it makes sense to just get out and then get back in at the low. Like it really makes sense. So that's why I actually got rid of that. So that's the first one. And again, since I told you that I was very, very bullish on oil, another oil company which I really liked was CVX. And CVX, this one is Chevron Corporations. And I actually bought calls on this one right over here. I saw this thing forming and I really liked it. All right, I saw this thing break above resistance and I started buying with the Webull account. So if you look over here, it says CVX and I bought these contracts right there, 8 of them at $114 each. So that was around like $912. And I bought those at 15 minutes before the market closed. 15 minutes before the market close was right in this circle right here. And then the next day I decided to go over onto the Robinhood account right over here. All right, and then I started loading up. I bought 10 calls for $1,650 at 9:33, and then I bought 10 more calls right here at 2:45. So that was a total of like $3,500, which was somewhere over here, and then another one over here. All right, and then I ended up selling this contract. Which one? Oh, I sold the Webull first. Yeah, so I sold that one at exactly 7 minutes after the market opens, and I sold them for a total of $2,064 right over here, as y'all can see, which was right out the gates. I got caught in the hammer and this was actually really, really frustrating. It happens sometimes. I don't like it, but it happens. So I got caught in the hammer and I was like, you know what, let me just chill and wait. And I just kept climbing and climbing. And then I ended up getting rid of all of these 20 calls, which were on Robinhood for about $5,000. So, and I got rid of them at exactly 9:01. And 9:01 was literally 1 minute after I got rid of Oxy, right at the top. All right, because I knew that the entire market wanted to like collapse in that moment. All right, now the next trade, again, since we're talking about the Webull account, we're gonna talk about CCIV for a bit. So let's check out CCIV. I took a trade on this one. Again, this red box was there in the way, and then I had an alert in the middle of the red box that actually triggered at around like $21.50, right over here. And this is actually where I got in with calls. So I got in with calls, these calls right there, 8 of them for $180 each, which costed around $1,456. And I bought them at 9:16 Central Time. Again, that is in that circle that I drew. And then I ended up selling them at 10:39 or 9:39 Central Time for a total of $2,400, which was, let me change that to the 1. All right, and where did I sell? I sold right over here, 9:16, right over here, right there, right at the top. All right, so that was for that trade. Now let's talk about some more trades. I took a trade on Shopify. All right, and Shopify actually had earnings this week. I wasn't intending on doing so, but it actually caught my eye and I saw the momentum coming in. So I decided to take a trade on it. So if we go back here to the Shopify history, we can see that I bought one call for $850, and that was at 8:53. 8:53 was right over here, and I ended up holding that call because the momentum was just too great. It just crushed earnings by like a mile. By a long shot. It was just phenomenal earnings. So I decided to just hold them for until the next day, and then I got rid of that call for $2,200. I wanted to sell it for $2,600, but my order would not get filled. All right, but I ended up getting rid of it at 833, and 833 was right over here again because the market was looking really weird, and I wanted to just collect the bag and leave. And so yeah, so that was for the trade on that one. And then as you can see, if you go onto the 5 minute, like it pulled back immediately. Those contracts went like to nothing. All of the premiums immediately disappeared because the expiration was just so close. So that was for that trade on Shopify. The next trade that I took, that one was on Etsy. It didn't go so well. I was actually kind of mad about that. The setup looked really nice on this one. All right, I was looking at Etsy. The setup was looking so good, so I decided to get in here with 5 calls. Average cost was around like average cost. See right here, 137. 137 is right in here, right in that circle that I drew. So that was a total of around $1,500 that I bought calls on, and my intention was to sell it in the morning, at least at around like 218, maybe 220. But because the market was so weird, and because it didn't want to like spike and it immediately collapsed, I didn't like that, and I ended up taking the loss on it. I had to get rid of those contracts right over here before it really started to tank, right? And I got rid of those contracts, all 5 of them, for $653. So I took like a $900 loss on this one. So that was for that trade. The next one is Baba. And for all of y'all who have been subscribing to the channel, I shared Baba with y'all, like I think it was on a Sunday. I believe it was on a Sunday. Yes. I told y'all that there was the reverse head and shoulders on here. The opportunity is there, and that, seizing it would be wise, right? And what I did was I forgot to buy it right after I released that video. I was actually kind of like ticked off because my entry was so terrible. If you look over here, my entry on Baba was right at noon on the 27th. So I was very late because I was paying attention to everything else, right? So I got in right here, chasing it, unfortunately, and then I ended up buying another set of calls for the next day, all right, for like $330. And then I sold the ones that I bought the previous day for $497, which was like a $20 difference. And then I ended up taking the loss today, which was not the best trade. Again, not the best trade. I was very mad, and my exit was actually very late. I saw this thing dumping, and by the time I saw this, again, I was busy with the other positions. So yeah, my exit was late. I ended up taking like a $200 loss on Baba. All right, and let's see here. What else? Oh, Applied Materials. Now, Applied Materials, I shared this one with y'all because it was looking good in my eyes. The flag was there. I bought it on April 26th at 9 o'clock. And let's check out AMAT. And April 26th was right over here. I bought it over here. I wanted to sell it above 140. And it just kept dragging its feet. Like the next day when it did this, I did not like that at all. And I ended up taking a loss, a $200 loss on it, because it's not what I wanted. It was not part of the plan. The plan was for this thing to actually spike all the way to 142, and then maybe even to like 145. And then they showed me this, and I didn't like that. So I got rid of it to buy something that I actually liked. And that stock was Norwegian Cruise Line. All right, NCLH. All right, so I bought Norwegian Cruise Line after I got rid of AMAT. Again, AMAT was kind of disappointing. I didn't like that. So I bought these ones for, I bought it on the 27th, 15 contracts for $1,275. And then let's go over here to, this stock. So I bought these calls right over here, and I just kept holding it. Again, this was for a swing trade. The setup was looking quite nice. It was looking very similar to the reverse head and shoulders on Baba, which I shared with all of you, right? So I bought in right there on a 27, and I was expecting magical unicorn news to hit the next day, but it didn't. I had to like wait an extra day to get my news, which finally did today, pre-market, and it pushed the stock higher, which is exactly what I wanted, which was exactly what the plan was. And then what I did next was to get rid of all 15 contracts that I bought for $1,275. I got rid of them for $2,325 7 minutes after the market opened, because this thing was going to tank. The market wasn't looking good, and I didn't want to see all of those premiums just diminish and go to nothing. So I took my money and I walked away. So that was my trades on these stocks. I know this video is a little longer than usual, but this one is still like, again, for everybody who is new, who have never been to the channel before, who are interested in like seeing exactly how I approach the market, this is for you. So if you like it, definitely annihilate and destroy, obliterate the like button, all right, for the YouTube algorithm. Now let's talk about Amazon. And Amazon, I told y'all that it had earnings, and to be very, very careful because these contracts are expensive. And so far, I'm pretty sure a lot of you are looking at this. You think you're happy. You think you're happy. Those of you who bought YOLO calls on this, you think you're happy. Those contracts, I don't think they're gonna gain anything. Like, worst case scenario, if the market doesn't pull through, it opens up like right here, and then everybody loses. The long is the short, everybody gets crushed, just like I showed y'all with Microsoft. So again, this is why, for all of the beginners, this is why I do not do this. I do not hold, I don't hold any positions through earnings. And by the way, that's why I got rid of my my Chevron calls, because it has earnings tomorrow, and I'm not rolling the dice with my profits through earnings. I just don't do it. Again, it's all about discipline, people. It's all about discipline. Holding through earnings is really gambling. You don't want to do that. So I felt it was appropriate to move that money out and to just chill on the sidelines to see how it does after earnings. But in regards to this one, again, y'all will see what I mean tomorrow with those calls. For those of y'all who decided to buy YOLO calls on Amazon. All right, now the next one is NIO. And NIO, phenomenal opportunity for short sellers right here. I didn't see this thing until like really, really late. I didn't take a trade on it, unfortunately. But earnings right now, it's not doing too well. This is an option killer. Both sides are gonna lose tremendously, probably like negative 20% or 30%. Again, this is another example of why we don't gamble our money through earnings. Again, for all of the beginners out there, I hope you taking some like the good and the bad. You know, that way you can like apply it to your trading, and I hope that it helps. And that is the end of the video. Again, do not forget to annihilate the like button as always. It helps the channel a lot, and it allows more people to get this knowledge as well. I wanted to do something a little different today. So if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, definitely click on subscribe and click on the notification bell along with all notifications. That way you don't miss out on these post-market analysis videos, which are released every single day in the afternoon, and the pre-market analysis videos, which are released from Monday to Friday at exactly 8:15 a.m. Central Time, 15 minutes before the market opens. If you're not following us on social media, you can find me at Paul Nguma and at PATTERNOLOGY LAB on Instagram and on Twitter. And lastly, if all of this is brand new to you, if you're interested in getting started in the stock market, I'll have some step-by-step directions in the description of the video below. Step 1 to step 3. It only takes about 15 minutes or less for you to get signed up with all the tools you need to start trading immediately. You can also get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,850 right after you sign up with Webull. Use my very first link in the description below. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Nguma with PATTERNOLOGY LAB, where we trade patterns and patterns only. And I will see all of you in the next video, alright? Enjoy the outro.